a more peaceful environment. There's a quiet that only comes when you're alone in your own space. Not the kind of silence that feels empty, but the kind that feels clean, gentle, undisturbed. When you live alone, you get to shape that quiet. You control the volume of your day, the sounds you let in, and the ones you leave out. There's no television blaring from the next room, no hallway footsteps waking you at 5 a.m., no phone conversations bleeding through thin walls, just the rhythm of your own breath, the creak of your favorite chair, and the stillness that so many people spend their whole lives searching for. That kind of environment does something to your nervous system. It calms it. It soothes the edges of anxiety. It lowers cortisol, the stress hormone that's responsible for everything from high blood pressure to shallow sleep. When you live with others, especially if they're rushed, loud, or emotionally intense, you absorb that energy. Whether you realize it or not, you carry their chaos, their moods, their mess, and before long, you forget what it felt like to be still in your own skin. Let's talk about Gloria, a 70-year-old retired teacher who spent 5 years sharing her home with her adult daughter and 2 young grandchildren. She loved them deeply, but every day brought motion, noise, interruption. There was always a request, a spill, a question needing her attention. By the end of the day, Gloria felt wrung out. After her daughter moved into her own place, Gloria didn't just get her space back, she got her nervous system. Her sleep improved. Her digestion calmed. She even said her memory felt sharper, not because of medication, but because her body finally had the chance to rest. There's something healing about having no one to please. First thing in the morning, no conversations you didn't initiate, no pressure to perform, respond, or smile when you're not ready. Just you in a space that listens more than it talks. For many seniors, that's not loneliness, that's peace. And peace, once you feel it, becomes something you never want to trade again. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 3, freedom to shape your own routine. There's a certain joy that comes with moving through your day on your own time. Waking when your body says it's ready. Eating when you're actually hungry. Choosing when to run errands, when to rest, when to turn off the lights, without checking if it fits someone else's plans. Living alone gives you that freedom. It puts the rhythm of your life back in your own hands. And that rhythm, once you settle into it, becomes a kind of medicine. Too often, older adults adjust their routines to accommodate others. Whether it's an adult child's schedule, a caregiver's timeline, or even a well-meaning neighbor dropping by unannounced, their days begin to revolve around someone else's clock. Over time, this takes a toll. Meals are rushed, sleep is interrupted, personal rituals like morning walks or afternoon reading start to fade. You might not even notice it happening, but something in you begins to shrink, a little like a flower being turned away from the sun. Let me tell you about Carl, a 77-year-old widower who moved into his nephew's home after a health scare. At first, it felt supportive. There was company, there was care, but soon Carl's mornings were dictated by the family's rush to school. Meals were eaten on their schedule, noise became constant. He missed his mid-morning crossword, his slow breakfast, his quiet afternoons. Eventually, he asked to return to his own small apartment, and what happened next surprised everyone. His energy returned. He started painting again. He began sleeping through the night, all because he got his time back. Having your own routine isn't selfish, it's soulful. It's how you listen to your body, how you feed your spirit, how you move through the day with intention instead of obligation. Living alone doesn't mean isolating. It means aligning with your natural pace, your personal needs, your quiet joys, and that kind of alignment. It creates a life that feels not just bearable, but deeply right. Number 4, emotional resilience and confidence. There's something powerful that happens when you prove to yourself that you can handle things on your own, not because you have to, but because you choose to. Living alone in your later years doesn't just provide freedom, it builds a quiet kind of strength. The kind that comes from managing the bills, calling the plumber, deciding what's for dinner, and locking your own front door at night. Each of those small acts tells your brain, I'm capable, I'm steady, I'm still in charge of my own life. For many older adults, there's a lingering worry that independence fades with age, that needing less help means taking on too much. But in reality, managing life solo, when done safely and mindfully, can actually restore confidence that got lost somewhere along the way. When you make your own decisions and solve small daily problems, your sense of self gets stronger. You stop second-guessing yourself. You stop waiting for someone to tell you what to do. You begin to trust your instincts again. Let me tell you about Bernice, an 81-year-old who had lived with her sister for most of her adult life. When her sister passed away, many people expected Bernice to move in with family, but she decided to stay in the home they had shared. At first, she was nervous. She didn't know if she could handle it all, but she did. Slowly, quietly, day by day, she learned to manage her finances. She fixed a broken faucet. She took walks by herself, and one afternoon, after making her own doctor's appointment and driving herself there, she said out loud, "I didn't know I could still do all this." That realization lit her up from the inside. Living alone gives you moments like that. Moments that rebuild the bridge between who you were and who you still are. It reminds you that aging doesn't mean erasing, it means evolving. And the more you do for yourself, the more you believe in yourself. That belief becomes emotional armor. It steadies you when life shakes. It grounds you when the future feels uncertain. And it fills your quiet days, not with doubt, but with a deep, earned pride. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue to grow and grow. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Fewer social conflicts and emotional friction. One of the most overlooked benefits of living alone in your later years is the peace that comes from fewer daily conflicts. You're not navigating passive-aggressive remarks. You're not absorbing someone else's bad mood. You're not compromising on how loud the TV is or biting your tongue at the dinner table. That may sound minor, but emotional friction, especially when it's constant, drains your energy. It chips away at your sense of ease. And over time, it can quietly steal the joy from your days without you even realizing it. When you live with others, even those you love, there's always the potential for tension. It could be a difference in habits, in beliefs, in how you like your space to feel. And while those differences might seem manageable, the constant need to adjust, explain, or defend your preferences wears you down. Eventually, you start shrinking yourself to keep the peace. You stop saying what you think. You walk on eggshells. You edit your joy, and that quiet pressure adds up. Let's talk about Leonard, a 79-year-old who moved in with his daughter after a minor fall. She meant well. She wanted to protect him. But soon, every choice became a debate. Whether he could drive, whether he could eat what he wanted, whether he was allowed to work in the garden. After a year, Leonard asked to move into a small senior apartment complex, not because he didn't love his family, but because he missed his voice. Within a few weeks, his posture improved. His laughter came back. He said it felt like his home was finally his again. Living alone doesn't mean cutting people out. It means choosing when and how to connect. It means maintaining your emotional boundaries. It means making room for peaceful relationships, not ones forced by proximity. And when you do spend time with others, friends, children, neighbors, it comes from a place of fullness, not fatigue. That kind of clarity doesn't just help you feel better, it helps you love better. And that might be the greatest gift of all. 6. A deeper connection with yourself. There's a kind of knowing that only grows in silence. When you live alone, especially between 65 and 80, something opens up. Not just your schedule, not just your space, but your awareness. Without the constant noise of other people's opinions, without the subtle pull to entertain or explain, you begin to hear yourself more clearly. You start remembering what you actually enjoy, what you believe, what you miss, what still makes you curious. That kind of self-connection can be life-giving in ways most people never expect. We spend so many years wrapped up in roles, parent, spouse, employee, caregiver, always doing and always tending. But when the house quiets down and the world gives you room, you finally get the chance to ask, who am I now? What do I want these years to look like? And that isn't a sad question. It's a sacred one. Solitude becomes the canvas. And from that stillness, new things begin to grow. Maybe it's writing, maybe it's painting, maybe it's prayer, maybe it's simply resting in your favorite chair, watching the light move across the floor, and feeling for once that there's no rush. Let me share the story of Harold, an 84-year-old widower who had always been surrounded by people. But after his wife passed and his kids moved out of state, Harold decided not to fill the silence. He didn't join every club or invite boarders into the house. Instead, he sat with himself. At first, it was unfamiliar, even uncomfortable, but over time, he began to journal. Then he started recording his memories. And one day he said, "I thought I was alone, but I found someone in the quiet. I found me." Those words stayed with me. Living alone isn't about absence. It's about presence, in your thoughts, in your own unfolding life. And when you allow yourself that kind of depth, it doesn't just bring peace. It brings meaning. You realize that aging isn't about fading. It's about uncovering. And in that uncovering, you don't just find comfort. You find yourself. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 6 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Sabrina Nguyen. Living alone after 65 often gets misunderstood. People assume it's lonely, risky, a last resort. But for many, it's the opposite. It's a return and a quiet unfolding. A choice to live on your own terms while you still can. It doesn't mean shutting people out. It means inviting yourself back in. It means recognizing that your preferences still matter, that your time, your energy, your space, they all deserve to be protected. You've earned this chapter. Every scar, every laugh line, every hard-won boundary. Living alone after 65 often gets misunderstood. People assume it's lonely, risky, a last resort. But for many, it's the opposite. It's a return and a quiet unfolding. Every scar, every laugh line, every hard-won boundary. Living alone gives you room to breathe again, to think without interruption, to feel your own feelings without judgment. It offers the kind of peace that only comes from being with someone who fully understands you, and in this case, that someone is you. That kind of companionship isn't lesser, it's deeper, and once you taste it, you realize you were never really missing anything. You were just waiting to come home to yourself. So if you've been wondering whether this lifestyle is right for you, don't look to what the world says. Look inward. Ask your body how it feels when the house is quiet. Ask your mind how it responds when no one's watching. Ask your spirit what it longs for when the day is entirely yours. The answers you hear might not come loud, but they'll come honest. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.